It's honestly probably good signal in my opinion that I think you've won that like the same thing on 4 podcasts in a row. And I'm pretty sure if we look at the channel, I've done this. This is definitely not my first time wearing this hoodie. But let's see. Actually, let's see. Yeah, this is what we're on episode 15 today. Um, 15. Uh, one, two. Okay, I've only worn it twice. That's fine. I've got like 5 more episodes at least, and it's good. I think it's a good signal, though. I think it's a good indication that we're focused on the right things. We're focused on growing a business and scaling a business. We're not focused on like how nice or like how different or unique our outfit is every week. Although who knows, maybe we start doing that in a year from now and people clip this and they're like, oh fuck you guys. Um, so, but I also I think I've only had the same background on 2 podcasts in a maybe 3 podcasts in a row, and like every like my background consistently changes, but finally I think it will actually look like this for a while now, which is cool.
Then
um yeah, we're setting up the San Francisco place at the moment. um but yeah, dude, do you want to talk about do you want to talk about mentality? Do you want to talk about the stuff that some people understand really well? We had a great chat with Eric a few weeks ago about this. Um, but yeah, probably some of the most underrated stuff in business, and most business circles don't actually talk about mindset and the importance of like looking after your brain, your body, your habits, etc.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's business is not easy. There's highs and lows. You gotta have a good mindset to get through it. I think that's the easiest, most meat kind of sentence you can touch. Um, I mean in this last week alone, I sent you a voice note, but pretty rough week, right? You go from closing on last episode. I think we were chanting all the new MRR we got, and it went to dead zero the last week. Like it's been a slow week. Which obviously we track data. I know what I need to do to improve it, et cetera, et cetera. But it just goes to show that like you got to have your mentality in a good place. Um,
mm-hmm.
to continue, like a lot of people get discouraged on that, or think of a pivot, but you just gotta keep your eyes on the prize and just keep tweaking. Like it is kind
Mm-hmm.
of a mind numbing process when you first start out. But I think as long as you have a goal that you're pushing towards and you keep on tweaking it with the right mentality, you'll get there.
I agree. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think there are highs and lows?
Ooh, great question. Great question. For me
Not to get
personally,
too not to get too philosophical.
I mean, for me personally, I know exactly why. When you get a high, it's a new height, and you want to celebrate. You feel you've accomplished something good. You maybe deserve, not less work necessarily, but it kind of gets in your head, right? You grew. You did something good. You're going in the right direction, and sometimes I think what I got to work on is definitely doubling down on that, like taking that momentum and carrying it in to future weeks, future months. But sometimes what I do is, um, you kind of like you think you deserve to like take it a little easier after that,
Sure.
which then causes you to reflect that more downhill. And you kind of go
When
through
you
these
say take it easier, what do you mean though?
just I mean like just less urgency, less follow up on leads, less
Sure.
conviction on sales
You
calls.
start like cruising.
Yeah, like it's not
Yeah.
like you're just like going and partying or like just
Sure.
dropping the business, but like you don't have that like urgency that you had, I guess. It would really
Sure.
be the best thing
Yeah.
um to say. And I think sometimes it's easy because business, it can really, attack you and have a lot of a lot of stress at times. So when you finally see
Hmm.
growth and stuff, you naturally want to, I guess the only word I can think of is like celebrate it, but you want to like cruise and stuff like that. You're like, okay, cool, we're going good. Maybe I can cruise now, and you kind of let your foot off the gas. I think it's
Sure.
just continuing to keep your foot on the gas, continue to move forward. That I know I definitely need to work on.
I would challenge you and say maybe you need some rest periods in there as well. Um, and maybe sometimes you need a day off, or like 3 days where you take things easier to recharge or to focus on stuff that puts you in a better state to continue forward.
Interesting.
Um,
Why?
yeah. Why? I think it's like what we were talking about earlier before this call, like same thing I experienced this week, where I think that I got worse results from Thursday, Friday this morning, maybe, or like Wednesday, like end of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, um, because I uh because I let habits slip. I let like good stuff. I let looking after myself slip. I was going to bed at 3, getting up at 9. I was not eating super well, like not eating unhealthily, but not consistently. Just kind of like random times throughout the day. I wasn't working out. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't reading. I was just kind of like frantically working as hard as I could because I had hundreds of people messaging me at once. Which is cool and like crazy to like a crazy thing to experience, but I actually think that I would have had more clarity throughout that process if I had just sat down, if I had taken a breath, if I had slowed down almost.
And what was
And I
the,
was encouraged to do that. Yeah.
what was the saying you said? You said some of the
Slow
investors.
is oh yeah, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Boom.
And I think it's true. Yeah, it's just like sometimes it's hard when you're in the moment where you're like, oh, I've got to work really hard, or I've got to do this thing, um, or even I can't do any work. I don't want to do any of it right now. Like the absolute opposite when you're in both of those, just to take that approach, I actually think that pays off more. Um, so I challenge you on that as well. Like maybe you need to go slower with some things and focus on being smooth.
I think it's hard because if you do run a business and you have a lot of ambitions, your ambitions are normally so big that like you have to be urgent to hit
Sure.
them, and you feel like you can't waste time. But yeah, sometimes maybe taking it slower, more steady might actually be in the long run the better decision. So that's definitely
Sure.
something to chew on.
Yeah, there's almost like the frantically like running and then tripping over everything along the way versus like focusing on your like form and still running hard but like having a good tempo and then speeding up consistently versus like like going as quickly as you can. That's the best analogy I can think of right now.
Yeah,
Um
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Uh, mentality is super important though. It's like it's 1000% super underrated. Some business spaces like online, I feel like people in the online business space are better at talking about it, and some people leave it in really, really heavily. For instance, like again, that podcast we did with Eric Cavalaz, like Eric had a bunch of good things to say. He's right. People might think it's douchey, people might think it's stupid. Like but the irony is it's genuinely correct. It's generally correct, and the people that are really really successful in the world have like incredible self-belief. They have incredible self-talk, and the way that they look at things and perceive them are very different to the regular person. Is what informs their action and their clarity on a daily basis. So, um, you had said something along the lines of this week, like, hey, even though technically my stats weren't as good as I wanted them to be, like I'm not as bothered by it. Like
Yeah,
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah,
for the first time, and I'd say the history of running this business,
yeah,
um, we'd had a down week. Normally before, I'm flipping out, I'm panicking, I'm not sleeping, like it just things aren't going well, and I'm not to say that I'm like okay, cool, like no big deal, right?
sure.
Obviously we're looking at the issues, trying to fix them, trying to get things back on track, but it wasn't like you said, like a frantic kind of reaction. It wasn't flipping out that MRR wasn't able to get billed or this person churned or anything like that. It was just more like what do we need to do to solve it? What's the best step from here? Just very calm, level-headed approach. I'd say was a lot more what it was like. Um,
Hmm.
which normally I'm like panicking to get things back on track. So I think it was just very nice to see that for the first time.
Mm, mm. Cool. That's very cool. So how did you get to that point then? Because that's not easy to do.
Gosh, I don't know. I would say just repetition. I'd say like when you go through it and you see the low and then you go through this panic thing and you realize it doesn't really help at all. In fact, it probably even slows you down more. And you do that enough times, you're just like, well, let's try something new. Let's try just taking a calm, level-headed approach, and it you find out it works a lot better, and you're just a lot more motivated. And I think it's just the mentality you look at a lot of things at. I know I've spoken with you a lot of times, and I would be like, "Oh, we've got all these problems," and you would say, no, you've got a lot of opportunities. And it sounds so cheesy, so corny on paper, but like it's true. They're not problems, there's opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I would come to you with 10 problems and be like, all these are so pressing. You're like, yeah, but if you solve these are millions of dollars. And I think it's about the outlook that you look on the thing at. Um, and kind of your view on it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Philosophical.
It's true. Yeah. It philosophical or not, like, um, I am a big believer that the the beliefs you hold uh lead to the actions that you take, and the actions that you take lead to the outputs that you get. So ultimately, if you take a first principles approach, if you boil the process down, you gotta focus on what you think and how you think, and the people that grow the fastest. And whenever I grow the fastest, whenever I have the most success in business, it's always because I locked in my habits, I locked in my mentality, and then as a result, things grow really, really quickly to the point where even right now, I spend over 2,500 an hour on a mindset coach. And I go through all of the things that are like the good parts of my mentality, the bad parts of my mentality, and we just work on reframing shit. And it has massive impact. And since working with him, like I have gotten much, much better at what I do on a daily basis.
Boom.
Boom. There we go. That was fun. I like that. I like talking about this. I want to be more specific next time, you know? Like episode 16, I want to start trying to get people like some clearer action points. I like the philosophy though. Maybe a bit of both.
Just more actionable steps.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe that is actionable. Start meditating. That's an easy one. If there's anything that you learn from this call, start meditating. It's really just the practice of making training your brain how to focus. And if you can focus better, then you'll think better, and that helps a lot.
It
You want
doesn't.
to plug?
Yeah, yeah. If you want to grow your business a ton, um, why? Easy enough.
Boom. Easy.
And drop some comments. Let's get this thing pumping. We got to get this on the YouTube
The
algorithm. So comment
our
your.
most Yeah, our most recent video, which is going to be 3 episodes now, started popping off with comments. We had some crazy stuff going down in the comment section.
So drop any
Uh,
comments. Drop comments on what your favorite like day is, what your favorite month is, whatever. Drop
wow,
comments.
insightful.
Yeah.
Peace.
Later.